Hello and welcome to the Westchester County Continuum of Care Partnership to End Homelessness. Today we're going to discuss the presentation, Westchester Coordinated Entry, Key Elements. The purpose of coordinated entry. The purpose of coordinated entry is to make access to multiple housing and homelessness prevention programs easy and fair for everyone experiencing homelessness in Westchester. The coordinated entry system is fair because each person or household is helped in priority order based on how long they have been homeless and the specific challenges of their personal situation. This way, everyone is treated equally no matter who they are, what organization they contact first to access help, or where in the county they live. Coordinated entry only works if all agencies serving people experiencing homelessness work together to move clients into permanent housing.
Scope of service, coordinated entry contract. The coordinated entry or CE Assessor at each shelter is the initial and primary contact for coordinated entry to other elements of the CE process, including the DSS, CE Administrator, housing providers, outreach personnel, and COC staff. The CE Assessor is responsible to coordinate with these individuals on a continuous basis to ensure barriers to engagement in the housing process are identified and addressed on behalf of clients. The following are additional responsibilities for the CE Assessor. Complete and upload the HMIS release for every client, complete HMIS data elements, enroll clients into coordinated entry in HMIS, including all data elements, provide CE participants with a CE receipt, info sheet, HMIS release, assess all eligible clients using the comprehensive homeless assessment tool or the chat, ensure that clients' months homeless is correct in HMIS, and upload any relevant documentation. Obtain and upload documentation for time spent homeless on the street, in a vehicle, or location not intended for human habitation, as well as time spent homeless outside Westchester County. Ensure that client's disability is clearly documented in HMIS, as well as collect any relevant documentation. Scope of service for coordinated entry continues. After being notified that a client has been referred for housing by the DSS CE Administrator, the shelter or CE Assessor is responsible to respond to all parties on the referral email to confirm receipts within 2 business days, notify client when a referral is made, and discuss the process with client, whether the client is notified verbally or in writing. Verification of notification is required in writing on organizational letterhead uploaded into HMIS within 48 hours of referral. Provide the housing provider with all documentation requested. Direct them to its location in HMIS, or provide a reason why documentation is incomplete within 10 business days. Arrange meeting between clients and housing provider staff. Participate in case conferences with housing provider when necessary. Communicate and coordinate with housing providers to transition participants to permanent housing. Contact the DSS CE Administrator to resolve any issues which arise during the referral process. Respond to requests for the DSS CE Administrator. Notify clients of eligible referral decisions. Scope of service coordinated entry contract. Participate and request in COC training events and meetings, attend monthly coordinated entry meetings and DSS COC provider meetings, attend monthly and be prepared to actively participate in PHS, Permanent Supportive Housing, or RRH, Rapid Rehousing Coordinated Entry Referral, CERC meetings, which maintains the by name list of all coordinated entry participants and allow coordinated entry assessors and housing provider staff to coordinate actions needed to move every household into permanent housing.
Key elements of coordinated entry: access, assessment, prioritization, referral. Key elements of coordinated entry continued. Access. Our access points include all DSS district offices, emergency shelters, drop-in shelters, and our street outreach workers. Assessment. The length of time homeless measured in the number of months homeless in the last 3 years. The CHAT, Comprehensive Homelessness Assessment Tool, produces 2 scores used to prioritize the customer on a list. The CHAT must be recorded in HMIS. These 2 scores, one for permanent supportive housing and one for rapid rehousing, are generated for each client. Participants are also assessed for specific disabilities. Prioritization. The number of months homeless and their CHAT score will determine the client's place on the list. The list is system generated in HMIS. The prioritization list is sortable for length of time homeless, CHAT score, disability, number of household members, and other eligibility factors.
Referral. Referrals are made by DSS Coordinated Entry Administrator using prioritization list in HMIS. At referral, an email is sent to the housing provider, staff, and Coordinated Entry Assessor at most recent access point used by the client. Referral triggers Coordinated Entry Assessor and housing providers to work together to transition participants in permanent housing as swiftly as possible.
Coordinated Entry Assessor key tasks. 1. Enroll participants into coordinated entry in HMIS. Update the data for the number of months homeless, and it must match the check-in records in HMIS or be supplemented by documentation uploaded into HMIS. Include data for barriers and disabilities, which must also be supplemented by documents uploaded into HMIS. Completed chats in HMIS. Provide coordinated entry participants with a coordinated entry receipt, info sheet, and HMIS release form. All coordinated entry clients must have the number of months homeless matching HMIS check-in records plus any uploaded supplemental documentation to have a picture of their full-time homeless. Disabilities should match uploaded documentation, and they must have a completed chat.
Coordinated Entry Assessor key tasks. The system calculates shelter and outreach check-ins to provide base number of months homeless at CE enrollment. Use this number unless documentation of additional time homeless has been uploaded into HMIS. Maximum 3 months of self-certification on the street. If system calculates participant has been homeless 9 months, but the person says they were in the streets as well for 4 months, enter 9 months, or uploads signed self-certification for extra street homeless and enter 12 months homeless. The coordinated entry enrollment receipt is required every time a client is enrolled in the coordinated entry process. This form has a space for a customer to sign as well as staff to sign, and then needs to be uploaded into HMIS.
Coordinated Entry Assessor key tasks. Link coordinated entry participants to permanent housing after referral. This includes notify the client when the referral is made, arrange meetings between the client and housing provider staff, obtain and upload documentation of time spent homeless on the street, in a vehicle, or other location not intended for human habitation, as well as time spent homeless outside of Westchester County. Contact Coordinated Entry Administrator to resolve any issues which arise during the referral process. Link Coordinated Entry participants to permanent housing after referral. Coordinate with housing provider staff, outreach personnel, Coordinated Entry Administrator, and COC administrative staff on a continuous basis to ensure barriers to engagement in the housing process are identified and addressed on behalf of clients. Coordinated Entry Assessors are the initial and primary contact for coordinated entry to other elements of the coordinated entry process, including Coordinated Entry Administrator, housing providers, and COC staff. This is the coordinated entry flowchart. There will be a separate demonstration and walkthrough of the flowchart available to you. This takes you through the customer access points, what happens at a coordinated entry assessor access point, and the coordinated entry assessor's key tasks, and what to do if an appropriate agency placement is not appropriate, there is unsuccessful engagement, or an unsuccessful placement. Attend all coordinated entry referral conference meetings, or CERC meetings. These work groups maintain the by name list of all coordinated entry participants and allows coordinated entry assessors and housing provider staff to coordinate actions needed to move every household into permanent housing. The Permanent Supportive Housing CERC meets once each month on the third Tuesday at 11 a.m. in room 601 of 112 East Post Road. The Rapid Rehousing CERC meets once each month on the fourth Tuesday at 11 a.m. in room 601 of 112 East Post Road. Participate as requested in relevant COC trainings and meetings. Coordinated Entry Committee meets once each month on the third Tuesday at 10 a.m. in room 601 of 112 East Post Road. Remember, Jo Marie, Allison, and Craig are available as needed if you have questions or concerns about any client. Please also keep in mind, this presentation was recorded during the COVID-19 emergency period. In-person meetings are not being held at this time until the COVID-19 emergency state is lifted.
All material related to coordinated entry can be accessed through the link shown on your screen, and documentation, forms, or anything relevant to the coordinated entry process can be viewed on the COC website listed here.
Our website is cochomeless.org, and information specific to coordinated entry is available on the menu on the front page.
For any additional questions or concerns, please reach out to the names listed on this page. Jo Marie Tarshun, who is our Program Administrator, Coordinated Entry Administrator. Craig Wong, Program Administrator. Allison McSpadden, Systems Manager, PD&D. Carl Bertram, Co-Chair. Annette Peters-Ravolo at DCMH. Thank you for viewing this training.